Hello everyone, Chief Cyberneticist Mordred Viking here. Today we're here to talk about one of the major features included in the 3.6 Orion update, the rework of the Ascension Paths. Previously in Stellaris, Ascension Paths required 2 Ascension perks, and many players would start and complete the Ascension Path while the game was still paused, leading to major changes to their empire seemingly overnight. In 3.6 Orion, each Ascension Path requires an Ascension perk, which opens up access to a tradition tree, which incorporates most of the benefits from the previous Ascension Paths, with some new features added for those we felt needed them. We feel this leads to a more gradual progression through the Ascension Path. Let's go through each Ascension Path. We'll talk briefly about the new additions and features of each one, starting with the Psionic Ascension. To psionically ascend, an empire must either have taken the Mind over Matter Ascension perk, or have the Teachers of the Shroud Origin, and have researched psionic theory. Psionic Ascension is only available to regular empires and requires the Utopia expansion. Mind over Matter grants telepathy as a research option and allows empires to take the psionic tradition tree. Transcendence no longer exists in 3.6. While most of the old bonuses are still there, they have been redistributed across the tradition tree. For empires that have the Teachers of the Shroud Origin, they instead need to just research the psionic theory to unlock the psionic tradition tree. Psionic Ascension has had some of the more spicy additions. However, with Thought Enforcement now becoming a guaranteed research option with the Psycore tradition, a new edict, Sight Beyond Sight, which uses Row for some powerful ship buffs, and the finisher for the tradition tree will now allow you to form a covenant when breaching the shroud for the first time. Oh! Did I mention we reworked how forming a covenant works? In 3.6 Orion, when breaching the shroud for the first time, you'll be contacted by a shroud entity, picked semi-randomly based on your ethics, civics, traditions, ascension perks, and more. You can either choose to form this covenant and you will receive a weakened version of the 3.5 covenant modifier, or refuse and hope to get lucky later with a different covenant. Should you decide to proceed, a while later you'll be asked to confirm this covenant. Doing so will start a situation. This is your population becoming psychically attuned with your shroud patron, and will slowly increase your covenant rank. Each covenant provides different bonuses, but they all follow the same general structure. Upon forming a covenant, you are given a weak empire modifier. After confirmation, telepath jobs begin to provide pop growth, naval cap, or research depending on your shroud patron. Then, after 5 years, the telepath job bonus grows stronger, and you gain access to a unique empire building. After 15 years, the weak empire modifier is replaced with a stronger version. After 30 years, you can choose a leader to become the Chosen. The Chosen will become immortal and gain a unique leader trait depending on your patron and your chosen leader's class. It is important to note, this is different from the Chosen 1, and being the Chosen and the Chosen 1 can even stack together. After around 50 years, you reach the final stage of the Covenant and gain access to a unique patronship component. The speed at which you progress is based on how well your ethics, traditions, civics, ascension perks, and actions match with your patron. On average, it should take you about 50 years to fully attune to your patron and unlock all the benefits of your Covenant. Progress is voluntarily hidden. You're dealing with Eldritch entities after all. There will of course be a price to pay, and many of the current events have been changed to provide additional variety and hopefully be more balanced. As for the final word in the Covenant rework, for those of you who want to choose a specific patron, an option has been added to the Shroud where you pay a hefty amount of Zhro to attempt to contact a specific entity. This entity may or may not be happy to see you and be willing to make a bargain at that time. In case of a failure, you can repeat this process as many times as you like. Now, on to the Genetic Ascension Path. The Genetic Ascension Path still requires the Engineered Evolution Ascension perk and the Gene Tailoring technology. However, the Genetic Ascension Path does not require any special projects, since to get the most use out of the Genetic Ascension, you'll likely be doing a fair number of special projects to modify your species. Genetic Ascension is available to regular empires and hive minds, and it also requires Utopia. The genetic traditions follow the same gradual unlocking cadence as psionics, with the effects of each tradition growing gradually more powerful as you proceed through the tradition tree. Completing the genetic tradition tree allows you to research transgenesis technologies. These technologies allow you to add lithoid traits to non-lithoids, plantoid traits to non-plantoids or fungoids, and if you've harvested the DNA from certain leviathans, you will also be able to splice them for some rather special traits onto your species. There have been other additions to Genetic Ascension as well, such as the efficient cloning tradition, increasing the efficiency of cloning vats without increasing their upkeep. The enhanced gene expression tradition gives you another trait pick on species you modify, and the addition of 3 new traits, Vat-grown, Felsic, and National Machinist, that cover some of the things we felt were missing from Genetic Ascension. We've separated Synthetic Ascension and Cybernetic Ascension, allowing you to choose whether you want to go all out in becoming your perfect metallic self, or to become a slightly squishier version of your perfect self, with some cybernetic enhancements. This means there is not just one, but 2 more Ascensions to go through. Choosing the Cybernetic Ascension requires the Flesh is Weak Ascension perk for regular Empires, and the Organo-Machine Interfacing Ascension perk for hive minds and driven assimilators, and this becomes available with the Utopia expansion. In order to choose this Ascension perk as a driven assimilator, you need to assimilate 30 pops, and it requires the Synthetic Dawn story pack. Cybernetic Ascension is no longer unlocked via the robotics line of technologies. Instead, there are new technologies to represent the basic cybernetics upgrades that your population has access to. To expand upon the Cybernetic Ascension and play into the cybernetic fantasy, you've added cybernetic traits that are only available to be modded into cybernetic pops. After taking the integrated anatomy tradition, these traits make use of the normal biological trait point and pick limits, but are not blocked by pre-existing biological traits. Most cybernetic traits also come with a small amount of energy upkeep. And for our final ascension path, the Synthetic Ascension. Synthetic Ascension is now available to regular Empires and machine intelligences. One of the main goals of the Synthetic Ascension was to allow machine intelligences to pick this option as well, since we found the old effects of the Synthetic Age Ascension perk to be rather lackluster. For regular Empire, Synthetic Ascension requires the Synthetic Technology, as well as taking the Synthetic Evolution Ascension perk, which grants access to the Synthetic Personality Matrix as a guaranteed research option. For machine intelligences, this requires taking the Synthetic Age Ascension perk, as well as having the Machine Template System technology, which grants access to Binary Motivators technology as a guaranteed research option. For regular Empires, this requires Utopia, but for machine intelligences, it requires Synthetic Dawn. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more Stellaris content. But before you go, we would like to take this opportunity to thank all of the 100,000 people who helped us test play the 3.6 open beta, and an extra special thank you to those of you who left feedback of your playthroughs on the forums. If you like the sound of these changes, you can play them right now on Steam. Right-click on Stellaris, select Properties, choose the Beta tab, and then select Stellaris Test from the drop-down.